Hello there, welcome to Bryan Lomax Movie Talk and my ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Yes, if you've seen my reviews, you'll know this isn't a particular favourite of mine. Yes, I won't be going into them in great detail here. If you want to know my overall thoughts, please do check out those reviews. This is just to kind of cap off the series, put them in order. There ain't a right lot here that quite frankly, there was only one that I gave a 3-star rating. Everything else, other than my number one spot, they didn't rate more than a 2.5. So if you're wondering where I'm coming from in that regard, yes. Like I say, ranking these is a bit of a futile affair, I guess. It seems like a bit of a moot point, to be honest, ranking these films, because they're not my thing. But for the sake of finality, let's do it. So 8 films altogether. I'm going to start with the worst and work my way up to the best. 8 films. At number 8, we've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation. A totally crazy performance from Matthew McConaughey is literally the only thing that makes this moderately watchable. Moderately. Everything else, it is just nuts. The film just totally loses the plot completely. We've got Leatherface running around in drag. We've got some crazy government experiment going on that we've never known about before until now, and it's never truly explained. We get a random appearance at the end from the original star of the film. It's just this mess of a film in which, it's so bad that it could be entertaining. I can conceivably see how someone might get some form of entertainment from this because it's so bad. At number 7, we've got Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The thing that I remember most about this one is just how bland it was. Again, we've got a pretty good performance from Viggo Mortensen, who, like Matthew McConaughey, doesn't seem to know how to give a bad performance, even if he's in junk. But that doesn't stop the film from being junk. It is just bland. It's boring. That's again, like I say, that's the one thing I remember about this film, is that I watched it and then I came to do a review like a week later and I honestly couldn't remember anything about it. I had to go and check out the synopsis on Wikipedia just to refresh my memory, because it's just that bland and forgettable and totally dull. At number 6, we've got Leatherface, the 2017 version film with that title. It's good period detail. I like that period. The performances are all pretty decent, but unfortunately, it's just a mess of a film, in the sense that, look, it's not a mess of a film. It is coherent, but it's totally unbelievable. Like, I don't buy for a second the character that we get would turn into the character that, that we get. Sorry, the character that we have in this film would not turn into the character that we get in Hooper's original. So, it's too much of a stretch for me. It's ridiculous. There's also, some real low points in it, with disgust, just a particular sex scene that was involved. It was murky, it was dirty, it was just, ugh. The performances cannot save it. The cinematography, as good as it was, cannot save it. At number 5, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's kind of very much business as usual from the original film, but ramped up a bit more. It is kind of non-stop. Once it kicks off, I'll say one thing about Hooper: he knows how to keep it up here throughout. It's not my thing. I don't like the family. I mean, I know you're not supposed to. They're a bunch of degenerates who eat people. But I don't know. There's something about Freddy Krueger that, even though there's a charisma there, there's a humour, a dark humour, admittedly, but with this franchise, with this family, with this bunch of people who are kind of main antagonists, it's just, they're icky. They're too icky for me. And in this second film, we've got this character of Chop Top, and I just found him irritating. Really, really irritating. I know a lot of people really credit that actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head at the minute, but he's done a lot of stuff with Rob Zombie and that, and it's just, no, it just irritates me. I find him disgusting, and it's just, the whole film is just a mess. And you've got this character that's quite interesting with Dennis Hopper's character. I can't remember his name, but he gets this big introduction and whatnot, and you think he's going to team up with this woman, and they're going to go in and take out the family, but then he's just off for like most of the film after that, just running around with a chainsaw cutting up wood, and you're like, when's this guy going to come in and do something? The film, again, it's a bit of a mess. This whole franchise is just that kind of franchise, really. Just messy plotting and things just thrown in that are there for the sake of just being disgusting and overblown, and it's just past it. At number 4, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I know a lot of people really love this film. I think it's got style. I think it's well shot. I think the performances across the board are really well handled. I just don't think it has anything to say. I really don't. I don't think that there's no character arc there, for our main heroes, like the Jessica Biel character. There's no real arc there. There's no, what's her goal, and what happens when it's literally survival. She's just getting out. There's no character growth. There's no, there's a film on this list, well, my number 1 pick, basically, that does have that over this. So, yeah, anyway, it's all style and no substance. That's my point. There's a lot of jumping from one place to another and finding another family member and they do something debauched. Another family member, they do something debauched. Another family, and that's it. That's the film. Disgust. End. At number 3, we've got the original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Tobe Hooper film. Again, I'll credit him for keeping it up there. Once stuff kicks off, it doesn't come down from that point, and it is just a constant kind of reign of terror from then on out. If that's your bag, I can understand why. It's a roller coaster ride, basically. If you want your adrenaline up, if you want to be like tense throughout. But I just, again, I don't. To me, it's too dirty. It's too grimy. These hicks are just disgusting to watch. The acting is absolutely atrocious across the board, pretty much. It really is like Amityville, not Amityville, the horror film, but Amateurville. Yeah. At number 2, and I know this is probably going to be the most controversial choice on my list because it seems to get an awful lot of hate, and that is Texas Chainsaw 3D. Totally botched ending. The ending just, totally botched. And the period detail leaves much to be desired because presumably this takes place around the 90s somewhere, if you're going off the timeline of various things, and yet people are all cracking out smartphones with video on. If you can forget that, imagine this is in some alternate universe in which that technology exists. I think it's a pretty good effort as far as this franchise goes. You know, we have character motivation. We managed to have some kind of sympathy towards Leatherface because of various things. We have an arc for the character. You know, this woman, this main character. We have an arc, a reasoning, a process of things she goes through from getting from A to B to C. Like I say, they botch up the ending. The ending's just a little bit, whatever. You know, characters do things that, you know, like the cop character, the sheriff character, that I don't buy for a second. He's letting these two get away. But up until that point, I was engaged. I was surprised at various points when there were certain twists. Certain characters turn out to not be who you think they are. This, that, and the other. So for me, yeah, you fix that ending, you've actually got a good film here. But yeah, as it stands, it's still not a great film. But compared to the others, as I say, I was far more engaged. There was more mystery. There was questions that you were waiting for answers for. You got those answers. You know, it's. I think it's a much better film for those reasons. Number 2, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Which means, of course, for anyone who's been paying attention, my number 1 choice is Texas Chainsaw The Beginning. This is the prequel to the remake. And it kind of does what the remake did, except it puts character growth in there. It puts an arc. It puts this, you know, you've got this story of these two brothers. They're going to war. They're going to Vietnam. You've got one who really doesn't want to go. One who, quite frankly, I don't see him as a coward, because I don't think there's anything cowardly about not wanting to go to war. But that's how this character's set up. This idea that he's a coward, he runs from a fight rather than going to it, and we get that growth where across the course of the movie, because of everything that they go through, he becomes a fighter towards the end. You know, there's character growth there. There's an arc. It doesn't matter that he dies. You've still got that arc there. I find Jordana Brewster to be pretty good in this as well. There's some really great moments with her. One in particular where, you know, she's almost out of the house. She's almost to freedom. And then she hears the cry of a friend inside, and she has to make that choice to go back inside. And it's this little moments like that where, yeah, you feel that isolation, you feel that dread. I think it's well handled. It's well directed, very well directed by Jonathan Liebesman, I think. So yes, for me, it is the only film in this franchise that I would say is a good film. And still, I can't see myself revisiting it anytime soon, but you know, it gives motivation for the family. We like so much motivation, but reason. We see why they are the way they are. We see why the father character has come to the conclusions about life that he's made and taken this course, and it makes sense to me. Not in a way that I would want to do it, but in a way that I can get why these characters now exist. You know, it's just, yeah, for me, it's a much better film all round than anything else in the series. But that's just me. What about you? How would you rank the Texas Chainsaw films? Please do put your rankings below. Tell me what you thought about mine. Thank you for watching this video, and until next time, cracking.